What's up, teammates? Okay, looks like I was wrong. We're not in for a rebuild. We're a full on expansion franchise right now. We have nothing to work with. I can't believe it. Tom Telesco is gone as well. I know Tom Telesco, like, wait, what? I brought you Brock Bowers. I brought you two great linemen. What the fuck did I do wrong? He must have done something wrong, though, right? I mean, Mark said we're gonna judge them separately. Who's Tom and Tom's job is Tom, and who AP's job and AP is AP. But they met the same fate at the end for whatever reason. I think that there must have been a little more turmoil than they let on, and I think the little whispers of there being heat between AP and Tom Telesco uh, were probably a little more true than we were originally led to believe. Um, and maybe that's why Max Crosby seemed not as affected as I expect him to be because he's seen the turmoil. He's part of it. I mean, how couldn't it be turmoil if you think back? Say, looking back now, and at the press conference when Pierce pretty much said straight up, the only reason Aiden O'Connell started is because Tom Telesco and Luke Getsky told me to start him. Like I've been saying the whole damn year, but no one wants to listen to me. No one out there listens to me. There's about 15, 25 of us, of y'all, that listen to me, and I thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's motivating. By the way, I got 3 new subscribers, right? That's kind of crazy, for me anyway. Appreciate you guys. Anyway, back to it. What are we talking about? We're expansion franchise. And, that's where we are. I think that it was the turmoil that made us become a franchise, startup franchise, expansion franchise. That's what I'm calling this now. We're expansion franchise. Forget about the Raider ways of the past, okay? Just try to feel like we're an expansion team that just was granted to Las Vegas and they couldn't find a name, so they were able to steal the name from another team in the past, okay? You might as well just think about it that way, okay? We're an expansion team now, right? All the turmoil that must have been there when it came down to there had to be finger pointing. There had to be. At some point, when people make decisions, especially when there's a triad like it was then, there's finger pointing. And when something like Antonio Pierce not starting the quarterback that he wanted to start with, and then having other people around him saying this and that, I could see how the turmoil started. And then the worse it got, the more frustrating it got. Then when AP finally said, "No, I'm calling it, and I'm starting Aiden," and then Aiden got hurt, there had to be a lot of pissed off people on that team, in that locker room, on that staff. So with that going down the way it did, AP's probably pissed. If he's pissed at the team, if he's pissed at himself, if he's pissed at Telesco and Getsky, whoever it is, he has to be pissed off. Because the person he has to be pissed off the most, though, is himself. I mean, honestly, no matter how much talking they did to him, no matter how much pushing and urging they did to him, it's his team. And if he said he was going to stand up, he should have stood up. He didn't. He should have went to bat. Yeah, I'm going to go to Aiden O'Connell route. But I think he should have went to bat for Aiden O'Connell. And that's what happened. Aiden O'Connell got him that job. I said it on many show. Aiden O'Connell is the whole reason that Devontae Adams stayed and the reason Antonio Pierce got his job. And when it came around to Antonio Pierce living up to the promise he made in the beginning of the season when he said, uh, Aiden O'Connell has earned the right to get the first snap for next season. And then he peeled it all the way back to he has earned the right to compete for that position. And he peeled it back until it peeled into Gardner Minshew starting because AP betrayed Aiden O'Connell. He should have stuck with him. He got you the job. He got you there. And now that you're there, you're going to turn your back on him or you're not going to fight for him. And then look what you get for doing what you did. That's the way it breaks down. If he'd have started Aiden O'Connell in the beginning of the season, it'd have been a different season. Would he still have his job? Would he have lost his job? I don't know. We know we would have had more wins. We know that. We would have more wins if Aiden O'Connell would have been starting and played the whole season. So, I mean, because we only had two wins in 14 games, and then we had 2 wins in 3 games. So, we would have definitely had more. But that's the past, right? That's no longer, that's not even the Raiders anymore, right? That was the expansion team. That was the team that left the league that was once called the Raiders, that we stole their name because we were the expansion team into Las Vegas. Okay? We were starting from scratch. All we do is we had an owner. We got the number 1 draft pick, we'll say, in Brock Bowers from last year's draft. And we went through the expansion draft, and we got a bunch of young ones on the team. And that's where we are, right? With Telesco and AP gone, and whatever the infighting was, and whatever Antonio Pierce's reason is for, turning his back on Aiden when Aiden is the one that got him the job. That's what cost everybody their job. That's what cost us Devontae Adams. And that infighting that had to come after that was could have been I'm not gonna say it was tearing the team apart in the locker room, but as far as the executive and coaching staff goes, I think there must have been more turmoil than they were letting us in on, because there's really no reason to fire Tom Telesco. They're supposed to be judged separately. They came in technically separately. They got their job in the same year, but it wasn't like it was a package deal. But he got fired like it was part of the package. He got thrown out with the wrapping just like part of the package. I'm not quite sure why. The whole idea about turmoil is just a theory, because of course nothing was said outside. There was assumptions of there being turmoil, but maybe it was true. Maybe it wasn't just rumors. I don't know, but whatever it is, it fell apart. It didn't work. AP's out because he can't do game management. Tom Telesco is out because he put his hands somewhere where he doesn't belong, and the turmoil started with Tom Telesco saying AP should do what he did, and Tom Telesco should never put his 3 cents in there, right? And that 3 cents tipped it way too much over Antonio's is 1 cent and Gatsky's 1 cent. So a lot of that is being blamed on Telesco, and as it should be. I mean, his work for the draft is not his fault, but the tinkering that he obviously did to get Minshew to start, for whatever his reasoning was to get Minshew to start, he tinkered, he did it, he started him. AP listened, then he resented it, Then he repaired it. And then in that area, that's when the tumultuous situations came. And that's when I believe a little bit of AP came out and maybe a little more aggression let out than he meant to let out and came to a little more, that that Compton attitude, it stays with you. You know what I'm saying? And it'll carry through to a job. And so I'm sure that's part of it. I can't see how it couldn't be. You know what I'm saying? So Telesco being fired definitely suggests that the speak of AP and Telesco having a beef was really there. And getting Getsky out of there, I'm not sure who decided that and how that went down, whether it was a decision between Telesco and AP, or it was just AP's decision and maybe Telesco didn't want it that way, or anyway, whatever it is, there had to be infighting. Mark Davis was tired of it, and he said, I'd rather scrap everything and start from scratch than keep anything that was part of last season. So, and now that's where we are. We're an expansion franchise. But wouldn't we be happy to be an expansion franchise if we never had a team, right? If we never heard of the Raiders and a Raider team was moved here to expanded here in Las Vegas, right? Yeah, that's about as silver as it can get for this situation. It's tough. What the hell are we going to do now? How? What? How? What? And how are we going to be able to do anything to get this franchise started? Who are we going to hire as the head coach? Why are we going to hire the GM for the head coach? Are we hiring a GM first? And where the hell are we going to go to hire a GM? Are we going for someone else's trash? Are we going to pull someone who's retired out? Are we going to promote somebody? Should we have gone with Champ Kelly from the beginning? Are we going to promote him now? Well, where are we going with this? And then once we go there, this coaching carousel is ridiculous out there. There's so many teams that want to get their stick on 2 or 3 coaches out there that people are, clamoring to get. It's Mike Vrabel, it's Ben Johnson, and whoever the offense coordinator for I think it's the Chiefs, the offensive coordinator for Baltimore, and who else? Well, shoot, Patrick Graham's actually up to be a head coach candidate. Other teams are looking at him. Why aren't we? I mean, he's in the building. He knows the defense. Another team wants him for their head coach because his defense is so good. Why, if we have a head coach in the building, wouldn't we go with the head coach in the building? Why, if we are a defensive dominant team, currently especially, wouldn't we get a defensive minded head coach? Why wouldn't we get a head coach that's already been our coach? Why wouldn't we just promote Patrick Graham as teams do, as other successful teams do and have done in the past? I mean, it's not like Patrick Graham spent a whole bunch of time under Pierce, but he spent, 3 or 4 years under different coaches. He's learned enough about coaching by seeing how other coaches coach poorly. And I mean, he found his own niche. He learned his thing. He's up in the booth, and he's learned more about watching football, I believe, just from being up in the booth a little bit more. So we won't change staff. We won't have to change anything, really. All we'll really have to do is find an offensive coordinator, see whomever we want to promote to our new defense coordinator, and we can at least keep our coaching staff stable. At least do that. We keep our rest of our staff together, keep the fitness staff together, keep the training staff, keep the scout staff. Let's try to keep some continuity around the damn team. And I don't see why, if another team wants them, we wouldn't want them as well. We don't have a head coach. We don't have a general manager to hire a head coach. So what are we really looking at? We should be looking at everything since we don't have anything. But I haven't heard a single person bring that up. Not a sportscaster, not a player, not a bird. Hopefully, not. I haven't heard anybody on YouTube say it. I feel like it's obvious. I don't see why that shouldn't be the first thing everybody is talking about. Why is everybody talking about us losing Patrick Graham to be a head coach, possibly in not Cincinnati? Cincinnati is giving the offense coordinator job. Whatever. He's interviewing for a head coaching job somewhere. And if somewhere is good enough for him, then how come here isn't good enough for us? Right? We have everything in place for Patrick Graham to become the head coach right now. And we won't feel as much of a shakeup as we would feel when we bring somebody out from outside. Because when that somebody from outside comes and all the changes that come along with it, starting fresh and brand new as a expansion franchise, it's going to be hard on the staffs. It's going to be hard to keep everything moving smoothly. It's more than just the coach and the head coach and the offensive coordinators. It's the behind the scenes stuff too. It's the people that the players are familiar with as far as everything, your strength training, your massage people, your equipment people, the people who know you and who you know are gone. Now they're going to be replaced with people that they know and like already? Who knows? This whole thing is starting from the beginning. Or we can go with Patrick Graham because he's already in the building. He already knows everybody. We're a defensive-minded team because that's our strength. A defensive-minded head coach would be fabulous because, and especially in Patrick Graham's case, because I feel like one of the problems AP had that I think Patrick Graham would hold back on is trying to tell his offense how to run the offense, right? Also, Antonio Pierce was interfering with the offense. Didn't bring that up. About to bring that up as well. He was interfering with the offense and probably too much. He was too bullheaded about looking at the fact that we need to run the ball, although our running backs were averaging 2.3 yards a carry, and we didn't start moving the ball until we started passing the ball more, and then we were hitting our running backs out the backfield, and then we were finally able to start getting some running done. But Patrick Graham, I think, would stay away from that. I really have no reason to believe that he would stay away from that, but I would think that he's intelligent enough to step all the way off and say, I know exactly what I know, and I know very much so what I don't know. And I will let my offensive coordinator coordinate the offense, and I'll be here as the head coach and the defensive-minded head coach on top of my stuff and handling game time decisions. And I think that would be just fine. The only thing about having Patrick Graham as a head coach is something that I don't want when it comes down to a head coach, and it's no experience. I don't believe the best thing for us would be to get a head coach with no experience. That's why I believe going after Baltimore's offensive coordinator and other I guess, hot picks that haven't been head coaches before is really going to hurt this team if we go that way, because we need somebody on that field with mega experience. And nobody on our team, save Max Crosby, has more than 5 years of experience in this league. I think Christian Wilkins, this is his, or last year would have been his 5th year if he played that year. So we have nothing but youth. Youth is a good thing, though, especially if you're willing to wait, which I know most of the fans won't be willing to wait or wanting to wait, but you're going to have to wait, because you got to look at the situation that we're in and understand it's going to be rough. There's no need for you to start buying or wasting all your money on throat lozenges, yelling at the screen for the next 2 or 3 years, because there's going to be losses. There's going to be a lot of them. That's okay. Once we find the coach that has the game experience, even if we lose, if the games are being led correctly, if we have a coach that knows the game, knows how to control the game, knows, the best way to use timeouts, knows how to get the other team uncomfortable by the way they use timeouts. There needs to be some savvy somewhere in this franchise to take the reins of the head coaching position, because somebody brand new is going to bring in somebody brand new, and it's all going to be just too new, right? We need some people with some experience in an important position. And right now, our quarterback, important position, we're going to have either a rookie or a third-year man. I don't see out for us to find any type of veteran right now that's talented enough to be the starting quarterback that's willing to go to the Raiders. We either get a quarterback in the draft, or we running it back with Aiden and we're picking up a backup from somewhere, somehow. There's no one out there that we can get that's either coming in and or starting day one as a veteran, and our only hope is that someone falls to 6th, or someone special, someone named Shedeur Sanders falls to 6th, and we'll have those two, Shedeur and Aiden, as our quarterback. But if you don't get Shedeur, I don't see us being able to get a quarterback that is better than Aiden O'Connell. I don't know who's out there right now. I know there's people out there that's going to say any stick that can throw a football is better than Aiden O'Connell. But, most of those people don't know what the hell they're talking about, right? I mean, like last game, people don't understand. They don't know. Hell, I mean, I missed it. I'm not saying that, everybody should miss it. But even if you explain what happened to him on the play of Aiden O'Connell's interception, they can't comprehend it. They just say, "Oh, you're just making excuses." I've talked to my friends, and that's their idea. No one wants to hear the truth. Everybody wants to live in their opinion, which is fine. But the truth is, Aiden O'Connell is a pretty damn good quarterback. The truth is, if we get Shedeur Sanders, they're going to be competing. The truth is, we need an experienced quarterback to get all that together. I think Patrick Graham could be promoted just to keep everything smooth, and that would be the only way I would want a coach that had, no experience as a head coach, just to keep the continuity going. The other way we can keep the continuity going, which is more of a long shot, which is usually what I don't bring up, but this is more just an editorial thought. But what about Marvin Lewis? He's in the building too. he definitely has the experience of running a game. He has the experience of being on a team that was basically an expansion team and taking them all the way to the playoffs in the Cincinnati Bengals. The reason Marv even lost his job is because they kept making the playoffs so much and not going far enough. But that doesn't mean they didn't make the playoffs a lot. And having Marvin Lewis inside the building, just like having Patrick Graham inside the building, would help a lot. And I think if we have Marvin Lewis as our head coach, we could convince Patrick Graham to stay. Marvin Lewis also is a defensive-minded head coach. So if we can keep him and Patrick Graham will stay because they are happy together as that defensive-minded head coach duo, our offense, just like I said with if Patrick Graham was the head coach, is going to be left to the offensive coordinator. There'll be no tampering by Marvin Lewis. He knows where his strengths are, and he knows where he needs his most help from his staff. And and he could bring that with his experience. What else? The players know him. He's been there, so the players are aware of who he is. So it's not that they were going to bring in a whole new coach and he has to start shaking hands all over again. They at least have an experience with him. They have some background for them to attach to when it comes to Marvin Lewis. So there's another positive that we can get that would add to a sense of continuity for the team, and that would lead to less firings, right? And maybe he wants it. Maybe he had a little itch that he scratched, and he's like, you know what? It feels good. Maybe I'll get some lotion and get back into the coaching ranks. There's no reason for him not to. If he can be convinced, if that's something he want to do, there's no reason for us to not even try to pursue that. But I would like to see them pursue those two options just for continuity's sake. It's probably not going to happen. It's probably just, me talking on something that I think would work. But, the reality of it is it's probably not out there. So, yeah. But I don't know. It's an idea that I like to bring up and see what you guys think. It's just, we are expansion franchise right now. We need a good-ass head coach. Like a really good-ass head coach. And we need experience in our head coach. And if we can get Marvin Lewis to do it, I think that'd be great. And if we can't, there are other options out there. And, John Gruden's an option. Look, he's out there. He just won this thing against the NFL. He's feeling on top of the world. He's puffing his chest out. He's willing to look back into the game. Him and Mark never had no problems. John Gruden didn't do a great job when he came here his second time. His first time wasn't filled with grapes either. But that doesn't mean he doesn't deserve a third. Well, it could mean he doesn't deserve a third chance, but he's out there. He's hungry to coach. We've worked with him before. He's getting older. Maybe he's a little more mature. Maybe we could bring a GM that keep him under control. We'll say, we'll let you coach, but our GM's going to GM. Nah, that's probably a pipe dream too. Too many pipe dreams and no solutions. I can't see any. And Mike Vrabel better be the solution. I mean, at least he has some experience. Going with someone who doesn't have any experience and trying to go for the hot hire, going after other teams' offensive coordinators and promotions and all that, it's just going to add to the youth of the team. And then we're all going to be growing together. All of us. A rookie head coach with a rookie quarterback, and there we go. a rookie general manager. Yeah. All the important positions on the team next year is either going to be a rookie or in his sophomore year of playing. So what? Right? So what? It could be fun. We watch for the entertainment. When wins are more entertaining than losses, but isn't the mystery of it all good enough to watch, right? Because what the hell is possibly going to happen? Like what? Like if anybody can say they have any idea of anything that they think might happen, go ahead and put it all out there, and we'll see if anybody's right. Because there's nothing to predict that anybody has any reason to believe that anything they say will happen. Whether we think we could get Vrabel or not, that has nothing to do with what we think we can do. It's all about what other teams offer him and where he comes to. And why does anyone want to come to this team? Anyone with any experience? I don't know. But that's what we have to try to find. Or just promote Champ Bailey, get a brand new GM, find some coach who hasn't been coached, get a brand new head coach, get Sajur Sandals in the draft, get a brand new brand new quarterback. We fired Antonio Pierce. Hopefully we haven't pissed off Bobby Spills, but if we did so, we'll need a new middle linebacker captain for our defense too. So why not? The most important position on our offense, we have absolutely no idea who's going to do it. The most important position on our defense, we have absolutely no idea who's going to do it. Most important position on the sideline, we have absolutely no idea who's going to do it. Most important position in the executive office, we have no idea who's going to do it. It's like Christmas. Sit back and wait for the packages to open up. Don't be surprised if you get some socks. Okay? Just be happy you got a present. Let's hope you get a shiny new Red Ryder BB gun as a head coach. Because otherwise, it's going to be a blue Christmas. And we don't want the blue, we the silver and black. Right? We going to be singing the blues over the next couple of years because it's going to be hard to come across some wins. It doesn't matter because you can't win them all anyway. And the clouds get dark. But when you're looking for the bright side, I'm here. Come to the silver lining. Guru out.